Hey guys, actually here, and today's gonna be the patch 12.617 nodes. Again, a little bit delayed, but my schedule's been screwed up. As in, I've been waking up at like 5, 6 p.m., which is really screwed up, honestly. And I hate it. I hate doing that. Like, that's way too late. I like waking up at like if I have to have a quote unquote weird schedule, I like waking up at like 11 or 12 or early, which is like 5, 6, 4, which is what I did now. So yeah, a little bit delayed, but whatever. In other news, my power issues have been fixed because my power. I haven't been playing League really. There's sometimes I've been wanting to stream slash play, but like mostly it's been my power goes out sometimes for some reason. So I got that fixed. So that was annoying. Took like a whole week, which was funny. But let's talk about the patch. We'll go about the mid patch updates later. Something happened. Ahri charm duration. It was 1.4 to 2 seconds. Now it's 1.2 to 2 seconds. Pretty big nerf considering I believe it's optional whether or not you max your charm second. I think it's more so now more optional as in like, do I want to do that? I get my charm or to get more damage slash guaranteed damage for my W. Not sure the cooldown goes down with her W, but that doesn't really matter. And my like, it's besides the point. Overall, pretty big nerf, especially to picking in like pro play when you get a gank. So pretty big nerf, honestly, overall. I think it's deserved though. Ari's been rework and has had so many nerfs, and she's still super strong. And this is hitting a core part of her rework, I think. Azir, Sand Soldier's damage was 50 to 150 based on level, 60% AP. The base damage is the same. It has 5% less AP ratio, so now it's 55% AP ratio. Cooldown was 8 to 6 seconds, now it's 9 to 6 seconds. Late game's still the same. Early game, though, he won't have as many to use and to safely CS and harass. Shifting Shan's cooldown was 19 to 15 seconds. That was 22 to 16 seconds. That's why one of the bigger nerfs is because I believe you maxed that last. So pretty big nerf to his escape and like his playmaking. That is a ginormous nerf that he when they do nerfs like that to like their last max spell but was like a huge utility, it's a giant nerf. So yeah, Azir got hit pretty hard here. That really affects his ability to safely play the game. If he gets ganked, he's vulnerable for a long time, a much longer time now. So probably easier to get his flash. Camille percentage HP shield was 17%. Now it's 20%. Hookshot E damage was 60 to 200. 75% bonus 80. Now it's 80 to 200. 90% bonus 80. Pretty big buff for the bonus 80 ratio. Maybe we'll see Camille have Conqueror. Maybe. Not sure about that. It's bonus 80, so Trinity Force, for example, is base 80, so it does like it's like that does make it strong. But 20 more base damage is pretty big. Um, yeah, I don't see Camille Jungle even coming back, even if they brought back her stun, so I don't think it's coming back. It, yeah, I don't think that's coming back, but yeah, that's a lot stronger lane. Yeah, because she maxes her E second, I believe. Ezreal Arcane Shift, which is his teleport. Cooldown was 28 to 16 seconds. Now it's 26 to 14 seconds. Pretty ginormous buff. I think it's optional whether or not you max this for, second or third. So pretty big buff, honestly. This pretty much helps, I think, all Elo Ezreal players. So yeah, you'll see his win rate go up quite a bit. Graves Q in the line was 12 to 8 seconds. Now it's 13 to 7 seconds. Our collateral damage was 250 to 550 damage, 150% bonus 80. Now it's 275 to 575. Same bonus 80 ratio. So 25 more base damage on his ultimate all rings. It doesn't go up by like 25, 50, 75. This is a flat 25. So it's not that crazy. And the cool Q cooldown's interesting because levels 1, 3, and levels 1 through 4, it's actually a little bit of a nerf to like any early game cheeses he does. I kind of don't mind this just simply because I feel like that's the most oppressive part of Graves. So it's a bit interesting. They buff his late game, but they kind of nerf his early game ever so slightly, which I like actually. So I think that's a good job, which is surprising for me to say. Hecarim, base armor was 35, now it's 32. HP growth was 104, now it's 99. So probably right at the bottom, pretty big base stats nerfs. Q, Rampage, damage was 60 to 180, 90% bonus 80, now it's 60 to 160, 95% bonus 80. Damage per stack, 2% plus 3% per 1% bonus 80, now it's 4%. plus 6% per 100% bonus AD. Q cooldown per stack was 1 second. Now it's 0.75 seconds. 0.75, yeah. Max number of stacks was 2. Now it's 3. Stack fall off was all at duration, and now it's stack of 1 stack per second at duration. And mana cost was 28 to 40. Now it's 30. W Spirit Dread was 14 seconds. Now it's 16 to 14 seconds. New ability with his W is Hecarim gains 15 to 35 armor and magic resist based on level while Spirit Dread is active. E Devastating Charge. Min damage was 30 to 90, 55% bonus AD. Now it's 30 to 90, 50% bonus AD. Max damage was 60 to 180, 110 bonus AD. Now it's 60 to 180, 100% bonus AD. So nerf. Minimum knockback was 250. Now it's 150. Maximum knockback was 450. Now it's 350. Cooldown was 20 to 60. Now it's 18 all ranks. Our onslaught shadows fear duration was 0.75 to 2 seconds based on distance traveled. That's 0.75, 1.5 seconds based on distance traveled. So, first off, my question with the onslaught shadows is, do you have to still do the max distance to get the max fear duration, or can you do like half of it? That's my question. Devastating Charge overall was a damage nerf, and the cooldown's interesting because the cooldown's actually a buff until level 12, actually, which is kind of crazy to think. So he has more opportunities, actually. That's pretty big buff with the cooldown. But yeah, it doesn't do a lot. It doesn't do not a lot, but as much damage, like a little bit. I'm actually curious on how the minimum maximum knockback works. As in, is that a bad or good thing? I would assume it's a bad thing because Hecarim would want to misplace people. Like that's a utility he has. So I'm assuming it's a nerf. But we'll have to see. It might not be. Maybe it's unforeseen consequences, right? But oh my god, Half-Life reference. Oh my god. But um, I'm sorry, it was fun. um, yeah. Overall, it's probably a nerf, but we'll see. The Spirit Dread nerf. Originally they weren't going to increase the cooldown, but yeah, thank God they did. The W cooldown, W armor and magic resist is actually quite interesting because, well, here's the interesting dilemma that Hecarim's gonna have. He's gonna max his ability second, and so he's gonna want it for damage when he's killing people. But like, I think the timing is more important now because like, if you are in stuff, you probably want to delay it, obviously, because Hecarim, even me, whenever you go in, you just click all the buttons. Like you can QW at the same time and do mass CPS, but there might be a little bit of skill which like delay the W by like a second just to get the maximum magic resist and armor and drain tank. The armor and magic resist helps a lot though with I would say with fighter build actually because if you're going tank the armor and magic resist is kind of whatever you don't really care about it. It's honestly whatever. It's not whatever because it does counteract some lethality. But when you're going if you're going like Trinity Force, say Merc Treads, Death Dance, Hecarim, this helps a lot. Another important thing about his W is that he doesn't really need it to sustain in the jungle at all, and but the thing is that this helps I think counter some early cheeses from like Rengars and Kha'Zix because I don't think they'll be able to burst you anymore. I think if you go QW, if you're doing your blue for instance, and you go toward or your red doesn't matter, and your red or blue does not take him, as long as you save your W and you get invaded, I think you win. But you have to be sure to hit them first. So you probably have to commit with a ghost and then commit to it. So this league client's broken. Look at that. Look at my friends list loading. Jesus. So that's a very interesting thing about like I think when you're jungling and like say you died early, I don't think you're gonna be as vulnerable as Hecarim is now. The base stats is self-explanatory, pretty big nerfs, but I mean it's kind of needed because yeah, these are all some giant buffs to like some of his builds. So I mean I can't explain, but like I just woke up, so I don't feel like explaining too much. The key mana cost is pretty big, just because maybe doesn't need to go a tier build anymore, but tier's pretty good on Hecarim. I think tier's been underrated on a lot of junglers. For example, Udyr's tier is probably really good. Umumu tier is probably really good. I don't know. Because Cinderhulk is such a weird item where like you don't get strong until you finish item anyway. So why not just be weaker for a little bit longer? You know, that's I think the reasoning behind it. The stack fall off is actually pretty big because normally you would be jungling and then your Q would just run out and oh there goes all my damage or a fight, and now run out. 1 second passes, one goes away. 1 second passes, two, then 1 second, three. So I believe that's how it works. So I think it's similar to Lilia. At least I think that's how Lilia works. Pretty big. I should help lower elo players play Hecarim as well because now it's not as punishing between camps and such if you have the E or not, or going between even Krugs and Raptors. I honestly think going between Krugs and Raptors with your Q is like so minor. It really because like you have to wait for the big guy to die anyway. It's like a second or two. Like who the hell cares? Like, but it's easier to do now, so whatever. The damage per stack as well. It rewards Hecarims for staying in the fight longer, I guess, and maybe even ramping it up. It gets more rewarding. It's not too much more rewarding because Q cooldown per stack would be 2 seconds. Now it's gonna be 2.25. Yeah, 2.25, which is a minor buff actually. Maybe bigger though with cooldown builds, and the damage per stack is pretty good too. Yeah, if you go, I mean it doesn't matter if you go Conqueror or Phasers, but yeah, your Q does a lot more damage. Like Blob being like probably like 10, maybe even 50 tops with like a 2 items plus like all your movement speed bonuses. So pretty big. Caston. Null Sphere cooldown was 11 to 9 seconds. Now it's 10 to 8 seconds. Mana cost was 70 to 90. Now it's 60 to 80. I honestly feel like this is is it a world's patch? Is this even a world's patch? I don't even know. I think the last patch was the world's patch, right? I don't even know. I think so. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm actually pretty sure it was. Um, I think it's already strong, so I don't know about buffing that because they buffed his early game and his late game, so I don't know how I feel about that. Maokai, a pretty big change with Maokai. So getting hit by his passive, getting hit by a large jungle monster now reduces sap magic's cooldown by 1.5 seconds per attack received. Heal was 5 to 45 plus 4.5 to 11% maximum HP levels 1 through 15. That's 4.4 to 34 plus 4.8 to 14% max HP, levels 1 through 17. So quite a bit better scaling on his passive, and the fact that he gets it each attack means his sustain is going to be a lot better, whether or not he goes tank or AP in the jungle or a hybrid. Q, Bramble Smash cooldown damage was 70 to 230, 40% AP. Now 65 to 245, 40% AP. New Q now deals percent maximum health damage 2 to 3%. Q now deals 40 to 120 damage to monsters. Pretty big buff to jungle so far. E sapling toss, where they removed saplings dealing percent health damage. Base damage was 20 to 120. Now it's Jesus Christ, bro. Like it's so hard to read, you know. But yeah, it was 20 to 120 plus 7 to 8% plus 70% plus 70% per 100% AP target max HP. Now it's 55 to 155 plus 42.5% AP plus 6% bonus HP. Empower damage, which is the thing that mostly matters, was 40 to 240, 14 to 16% plus 1.4% per 100% AP target max HP. That's 110 to 310. 85% plus 100. Guys, I'm sorry. It's just a pain in the ass. Plus 85% AP plus 12% bonus HP. New minions no longer taking power brush damage from Sett. That's pretty big to nerfing lane slash support Maokai thing with pushing. Mana cost was 60 to 100. Now it's 45 to 85. Pretty big. Slow amount was 35. Now it's 45%. A little sappy. Brushes power stepping so slow by 35%. Now it's 45% plus 2% per 1% AP plus 6% per 1000 bonus HP. R Nature's Grasp missiles initial speed was 50 to 100. Missile maximum speed was 650, now 750. Missile acceleration was 250, now 300. Maokai now gains 40 to 60%, 40, 50, 60% bonus movement speed based on rank that decays over 2 seconds upon hitting enemy champions. Pretty big buff to his ultimate because it goes faster, it accelerates faster, and he gets bonus movement speed, so he can engage a lot better. He doesn't need like a Shrilliz or anything. Pretty crazy. Bramble Smash being max first, I think, is a guaranteed, honestly, because of how they buffed it. because it does the percentage damage when bonus damage monsters goes up, so you have both the percentage damage and flat bonus damage monsters. I really wish they did more things like this, so like some other champions like Quinn, thank you, or Nico, please. Sapling Toss, I believe overall isn't a big nuke anymore. You probably still do it, but I don't think it's as strong. I think, right? I'm pretty sure. 16%. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it won't. It's still a viable thing, but it's not as strong. And I think you're ready to incentivize the Maxis first, especially if we could, again versus Q. Post damage to monsters. Yeah, and you're currently Maxis Q now over E, so I think it should be phased out unless I don't know some crazy shit happens. The mana cost on the E being down is also nice because now he uses for wards. Being Maokai the jungle, Maokai jungle is very strong, but it's also I think kind of hard to play because it's kind of like you have to scout around and look for a good opportunity. You need to be careful with your saplings because you want to reveal your position all the time. I forget how long saplings last, so that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I always thought Maokai as a jungler when he's like, yeah, I like him being that wardish jungler. Slow amount was 30. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. Overall, this is pretty good, guys. Okay. Misfortune, physical damage on our Q was 20 to 100. 100% bonus AD, 35% AP. Now it's 20 to 120, but gets buffed by 5 per rank. Not rank 1, though. 100% bonus AD. So same ratios, just more damage. It goes, the rank 1's the same, then it's 5, then it's 10, then it's 15, then it's 20. W strep, mana cost was 45, now it's 35. Attack speed was 40 to 100, now it's 50 to 110. That's a ginormous buff. Make it rain cooldown was 18 to 10 seconds. Now it's 18 to 14 seconds, so it's still good at rank 1. Full damage at 8 ticks. It's funny they say ticks because it's like, is this RuneScape? It was 80 to 220, 8% AP. Now it's 70 to 190, 100% AP. Slow was 40 to 68%. Now it's 50% plus 4% per 1% AP. I feel like with the changes they did, going AP Misfortune to support is even still strong because the AP ratio goes up on her E, and um, I feel like she can build enough AP that it would do the same damage. So I don't think the E was even a nerf except to a cooldown. I think it wasn't a nerf except to the cooldown. Everything else was a buff, and especially to AD carry Misfortune, this was strictly a buff. W strut, yeah, that was nice too. The amount of cost and the attack speed is so big. I think you kind of need to get Immune on Misfortune though. I don't know, maybe I'm lying, but I don't know. But they hot fixed or buffed. They nerfed her. Attack speed was they reverted the attack speed. They reverted the W changes completely. I'll be honest. I don't know if that was even in the patch notes. So all she got for this was a better casting time and a little bit more damage during a Q. But the Q does multiply. Man, that was a nice buff. Now I'm mad. I didn't get to play that. Now I'm pissed. Man, I hate her mana cost from her W. Whatever. I'm sad about that. Nami electrocution interaction move. Apparently it's too bursty. Like Nami walk up to you, W and W walk up auto, and it would proc electrocute. And this is mostly with apparently Lucian abuse, Lucian Nami abuse, as they say. Nocturne attack speed ratio was 0.668. Now it's 0.721. Cooldown's passive was 14. Now it's 13. I have a hard time gauging how big of a attack speed ratio buffs are. I'll be honest. I usually have to play a game to get a feel for it, but it's probably a big buff, right? They say it's more so to buff the attack speed builds, but like his W gives bonus attack speed, so doesn't it buff him in that way, in a big way? I don't know. I always remember the times I maxed. I know I got W level 2, and every single game in Arkham, people would be like, "Why are you leveling W level 2?" Like that was so strange to me. League was such a strange game before because there were so many obvious things that just people didn't know. It was crazy, but I just have a trying to gauge how strong this buff is, honestly. So it's a buff. I'll be honest. I think my favorite Nocturne is Lethality Nocturne, but I don't think it's that popular anymore, which makes me sad. Maybe I gotta go Dustblade because Dustblade gives a slow. I don't like Strybreaker Nocturne's fun until you have to build your second item, and then your damage just falls off. I like Strybreaker. I like Strybreaker a lot on him. I think it's very cool. Or not Strybreaker. Like Dustblade. I should maybe play Nocturne again. I hate the Strybreaker build. I think that's why I get bored of them. Because like I go to Strybreaker build, I have fun with it. Then you second, third item, you just your damage falls off. You're just utility. It's boring. I like the lethality. Rell bonus movement speed while dismounted was 250, or movement speed while dismounted. It was 250, now it's 280. Big buff. Cooldown on her E, attract and repel was 1811, now it's 13 seconds. So overall big buff to her passive because now she moves faster and she can get away and such. And her, and if she chooses to like maybe she wants to go on her horse when she engages, so that's a big buff to get in position. Attract repel is max second usually, so you probably want to max that last now and max your Q because yeah, your cooldown your E is essentially like pretty much like having a rank 4 E in terms of cooldown. So that's a big buff. So I think we'll definitely see Rell. I actually think Rell's been strong for a while because she was good. Everyone was playing her, pros were playing her. They nerfed her, then they nerfed her again, then they rebuffed her once or twice. And I think the buffs essentially were like a revert, essentially. But yeah, no one picked her up. So I feel like she's always been strong. But whatever. We'll see if people play her and then watch her get nerfed. That'll be funny. But I don't know. It's probably fun. Q, Call the Me, Conductin was 65 to 205. Base damage, 8% bonus AD. Now it's 60 to 180. 100% bonus AD. Furious damage, which is Fury, was 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, plus 100%, 120% bonus AD. Now it's 90, 135, 80, 225, 270, 140% bonus AD. I think this is a slight nerf to his early game just because he's too dominant early game, which is why pros play him. So, yeah. W Haymaker 80 ratio is 20% per 1% bonus E. Now it's 25% per 1% bonus E. E Facebreaker cooldown, no, slow was 50%, now 70%. Not sure how big the E buff is. It probably helps a lot when you don't stun the target to hit your W. So, probably a big buff, actually. Um, Haymaker ratio. I mean, it got a 20% buff, right? Or the 25%. Well, I'm too lazy to do. I mean, 25%, 20. I don't know. Fucking. I don't care. But that buff is pretty big overall. How big of it is, I don't know. I don't do Sett math, but it's probably really good. Severe 80. I still feel like you should get a little bit buff in the jungle, like literally maybe like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bonus damage on monsters, something with his Q. Or more Haymaker damage. I would like to hit more Haymaker damage, but that'd be more risky, so maybe just buff the Q. Uh, Severe AD growth was 3, now it's 2.8. W ricochet bonus damage AD ratio was 30 to 50% total AD, now it's 25 to 40% total AD. Overall, pretty light nerfs, but again, they've been nerfing her. They're trying to get her to a good spot. They're trying not to completely gut her. I mean, it's pretty justified considering how guaranteed her damage is. Oh gosh, sorry, I'm tired because my body's confused because usually it's sleepy around this time. Sylas base HP was 595, now it's 575. Cooldown on his Q was 10 to 6 seconds, that was 11 to 7 seconds. Pretty big because Sylas maxes his Q, so now he has less wave clear potential and burst, so pretty good. Less HP also makes his lifesteal or his heal harder to work with. Taric base magic resist was 32, now it's 28. Cooldown was 15 to 11 seconds on his E, now it's 16 to 12 seconds. Pretty big nerf on his playmaking because again, this can get lowered by his autos. That's a pretty big nerf. And yeah, he's weaker to mages and bot lane, which should be more popular because they nerf sustain. So pretty big nerfs overall. W Trundle, cooldown was 15 to 11 seconds, now it's 18 to 14 seconds. Pretty big nerf to whether or not you max W or Q first or whatever, or last, whatever. It's mostly to target these 100% uptime builds, but yeah, Trundle's just kind of annoying because he's just so strong even without his ult, and when he uses his ult, he keeps it for a long time. So you wins an opportunity to fight him. So pretty big nerf. I think it's justified. Trundle's too strong of a champion for how easy it is to play. Honestly, the skill cap of Trundle's like his freaking E, I guess. Q wildcard AP ratio on Twist of Fate was 70%. Now it's 8%. Pick card mana cost was 40 to 100. Now it's 30 to 70. Pretty big buffs to Twisted Fate. We'll see if people pick them up. That mana cost is huge because that mana cost is like so vintage. It's like from the freaking old days of Twisted Fate, like season 1, I think. I need to play. I have a skin for Twisted Fate. I've been meaning to play, but I just never played it. I should play that sometime for trolls, right? Yeah, I should do that sometime. I need to do that sometime. It's the Crime City one. Wukong base attack speed was 0.711, now it's 0.680. Base movement speed was 345, now it's 340. So pretty big nerfs. Wukong now has the movement speed of Vi. So yeah, you're gonna. I think Wukong's done. The attack speed is pretty big because he gets attack speed from his E. And I like how they call him the King of the Jungle. I think dethrone him. Yeah, the King of the Jungle in pro play. Yeah. Honestly, it's justified. His champion was too strong with his. Again, he'll still be good, but yeah, just way too strong. Stopwatch gold increased by 100. Pretty big, just because. Yeah. Well, let's talk about with Guardian Angel. So combined cost of Guardian Angel went up by 100 gold because of the stopwatch buff. Total cost went from 2,800 to 3,000, but attack damage was buffed from 40 to 45. Uh, they're trying to make it so when you buy a stopwatch, it's not like, oh, well, time to buy an item that builds out of stopwatch. Like maybe you want to sell it now because of how expensive some items are. I'm not sure how many people do that. I think only supports do that, right? I mean, I guess AD carries do that actually. I think AD carries do that, but then they usually build GA and then it die, then they just sell the GA, which is like extremely late game. So I don't know. I think people are still gonna buy GA if they build a stopwatch. I'm not sure if there's ever an opportunity where it's like I need to get a stopwatch right now. I guess the game's almost over, right? I never really thought about that. Nor have I ever. I don't think I've ever really seen that before. The only time I ever really see that is when people are just absolutely stomping with a 10k gold lead. So yeah, people are also more incentivized to take stopwatch rune now. One thing I should probably take more is Hex Flash. I think Hex Flash is very good in certain champions like Fiddlesticks because then you can do some interesting gank angles. I don't know why I haven't taken that. That's kind of silly. I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. Seeker's Arm Guard ability power is 20. Now it's 30. Pretty big because this item is actually really strong. I think even now. So pretty big buff because on Lilia, for example, sometimes have rushes against like a Kha'Zix, so it catches them off guard. They think I'm swishing, but I'm not. So Zhonya's Arm cost gold. Oh my god. Total cost was 2,600. Now it's 3,000. Ability power is 65. Now it's 80. Ability haste was 10. Now it's 15. Yeah, the stats went up, but the thing is that you buy Zhonya's for the effect. You also don't get a mythic passive as early, so pretty big nerf to Zhonya's. I am a big fan of this because screw that shit, honestly. Big nerf to Fiddlesticks. He likes rushing as I am first a lot. So yeah, we'll see. Some ARM stuff. Ultimate spellbook. Oh, so behavioral system. Over the last 8 months since we released our new feeding detection model, we have gained the confidence that allows us to make significant adjustments. They put significant, some interesting characters, adjustments to what we detect as intentional feeding. We expect an increase in detection and punishments of over 2 times. Remember that punishments for intentional feeding are a 14-day ban for the transgression and a permanent ban for the first transgression and then a permanent ban for the second. Chat restrictions will be visible on the lobby screen for yourself and any party members, as well as individual profile pages, so that people get to see, hey, my friend's toxic. Honor restrictions applied to your account will be visible on your profile page with a log icon and tooltip. I'm guessing to yourself. Um, I hope that it does well because there's so many people that honestly just intentionally troll games and win trade. It's actually disgusting. I really hope this works out because it's actually disgusting how many people do this shit. I get accused of it, but I'm clearly not. But yeah. Competitive Summer Shift rank queue match week will now focus more on players' MMR and less on invisible rank, e.g., silver or gold. People had said that this is to prevent some abuse case where people would get their Masters promo and dodge every single Masters promo, and then they can duel with a challenger or like Master or Grandmaster player. I'm not sure how true that is. Maybe that was happening. I'm not sure, but that was some random Reddit comment I read. But how I read this was people like me, like 2 times this season, I've gotten Masters, but I literally did not play and decayed from Masters to like Diamond. So like even like Diamond 2 and 3. So I think this is supposed to like help me. I also feel like this is how it was back in the day, where it would take until your MR. Like I remember so many games I would like. I remember when I smurfed, I would be like a gold, but I'm like in a diamond game. So like, yeah, you still see that, but I think you should be seeing that more often and more consistently if someone's like smurfing or something. So or as someone decayed because there's someone who got. I remember seeing a comment. Someone got challenger and they're decayed a Diamond 1, and they can't get a game for like 20 minutes. So this should help them as well. I wonder if this also means they'll get more LP gains, as in like, well, because they're Diamond 1, and like once they get to like Masters, they'll get like plus 40. I would assume so. Some stuff with challenges. Oh, global defense system has been added. Have a control ward of the enemy jungle for 65% of the game. So, I'll be honest, guys. Since this is an achievement or a challenge, check for those control wards in your jungle. Take a trinket and just randomly scan your jungle sometimes. Near your red buff on blue side, and on blue side, the blue buff. Near blue buff, like the southeast of blue buff, that little bush between middle lane and the mid turret and blue, and vice versa with red side. So check for those wards because people might be doing those challenges even in high elo ranked games. Lol. Um. Oh, what? Some star student. I don't care about that. Well, do I care about this? Apparently there's some weird thing about epic monsters kill with some champions. That's funny. That's good. The same again. It's gonna change the meta in direct ways, which is funny. Um. Update tooltips on champions that can swap between melee and range forms adjacently so they can dynamically update values based on whether they're in range. Update tooltip. Does that mean like if I hover over my Q, it shows what my other stuff? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Fix a bug that would cause your cursor to move erratically when using spurt pings. Fix the bug that caused the Ancient Grudge buff, which reduces damage done to Suskukun Drakes to not grant damage reduction for every Drake slain if the Drakes were Hexic ones. That's pretty big. Fix the bug that caused Draven's R execute passive to execute enemies through spell shield, so on the way back, I'm guessing. Fix the bug where Riftshell's spawn animation would interrupt the knockback from Poppy's R. Fix the bug that Orin's item occurs would be lost to the teammate he was upgrade died during the channel. Lol. Fix the bug that caused to draw his E to procure the God stacks when a melee champion would walk nearer. Fix the bug that removes E's that removed Fizz's E range indicator to not show after his visual effects update. Fix the bug that caused Zero's Q animation to leave vision for longer than intended when last hitting minions. I wonder how long that is. That's probably a big nerf. Fix the big bug that caused Pike's R to go on cooldown if the enemy was killed by another ally. That was a bug. Yeah, that's the thing about Pike. There's so many weird things. Like I was under the impression that if he doesn't get the kill with his R, that it goes on cooldown. But then I swear, like earlier on when Pike was released, I was like, "Oh, it goes even if he doesn't get the kill, he gets it out right." So I guess that was a bug. That's a big buff for Pike, I believe. Because now if he R's and the ally kills the person during the channel, I think he gets a refund still. That's a ginormous buff to Pike. Jesus. So I just don't. I think that's been a bug for a while. Fix the bug where champions could flash while charmed if they casted heal or ghost. I wonder if that's been knowingly being abused because in pro play there's an Aphelios that did that against an RA. Was that maybe I was intentionally being abused? That's freaking hilarious, dude. I'm not joking. If people can get away with it, people fucking do it. I'm sorry for cursing, but people do that shit all the time. I guarantee you that Aphelios was 100. Like I mean, I don't want to start shit, but if he healed, I guarantee he did because you get charmed. Why would you heal right away? Like um, what else? Fix the bug where Treasure Hunter Rune would play Draven's passive sound effects if there was a Draven present in the game. Yeah, I actually thought I was playing Nico and I had Treasure Hunter and I had a Draven in my game. I thought it was a Nico bug, but it was actually a Treasure Hunter Nico Draven bug. I actually thought that was kind of funny. Maybe we should keep that. Get some more Draven in the game. I actually like that bug. I'm actually kind of sad. I actually really like that bug. Now I'm mad. That was cool. That was actually cool. Can we get a different sound effect at least? Maybe. Fix the bug where executing to the found or minions would progress the free ticket to base challenge. I wonder what that challenge is. Fix the bug where Scion's zombie form would count. That's why people intentionally died. Fix the bug where Scion's zombie form would count as additional kill or assist just for certain challenges. Fix the bug where Sett's ultimate would disable opponent's Hex Flash and Flash for the remainder of the game. That's pretty OP. Fix the bug that would cause Unleash teleport scroll on display incorrectly on the scoreboard once it has transformed. Oh, thank God they fixed this. This bug is irritating. I make some incorrect plays because I think my top lane or mid lane has Unleash teleport and they don't. Thank God this was fixed. This was so bad. Fix the bug where certain abilities after casting Flash would disable Hex and Hex Flash. Good. Fix the bug that gave Elder Dragon the normal Drake Roar as opposed to his own special Elder Roar. To be honest, I don't even freaking notice. Kind of. I guess I do notice. I mean, I don't know if I even saw Elder Dragon, but I'm kind of like, I mean, I know what it is, but whatever. Like as like, I didn't notice it, but I do notice it. You know. The only cool skin here, honestly, is King Viego. Everything else is like weird as hell, honestly. Like this looks like Ezreal. Um, yeah, the next patch's Halloween skins are cool as hell. Renata and Nollis are super cute, so we're excited for that. That's pretty much it. I'm scared of going to a custom game. I mean, because I don't want to screw up my settings. I played some Teamfight Tactics games for the um rewards, but it didn't mess up my settings. My mouse sensitivity, everything was normal. But I think if you go to Summer's Rift, it'll screw up your settings. So I'm not sure if they fixed that yet. If you know they fixed it yet, please comment. Thank you. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Overall, pretty good patch, I think. Oh, bye.